As a result of our last episode just absolutely blowing up, it is by far our most popular episode of 2023. And in that episode, we talked about the leadership skills that we can learn from kids playing sports. So as a follow-up, we're going to talk about the benefits of people getting involved with sports on the coaching level. Why should small business owners, why should dads get involved as a coach in local sports? This episode is going to be great.
This is Don't Fear Grit with Rob Taormina. Marketing strategies and advertising technologies to help you build a better business.
So many of us have experienced some level of sports in our life. Like when we were kids, we're involved with some type of sport, right? It could be baseball or softball, basketball, soccer, football, lacrosse. Like depends on maybe what part of the country, because I know certain sports are more popular in certain areas. But we've all had sort of our level of experience playing sports. And if you think back in those moments playing sports, you always can think of like the soccer mom or the baseball dad, the guy on the sideline cheering for his kid or yelling or screaming and coaching from the sidelines. But there's also these amazing coaches that are going to stand out in your life. These are coaches that took the time to spend time with you, to not just coach you as an athlete, but to mentor you as a person. And you can probably think back to maybe a time or two where maybe just certain types of attention or maybe an encouragement really was ended up being life-changing for you. And that role as a coach is so important for local youth sports. So that's why, as a follow-up to our previous episode, that, by the way, absolutely blew up, and it is by far our most popular episode so far of 2023. But in that episode, we talk about what can we learn as leaders from youth sports. You know what? Now we're going to talk about what are the benefits to coaching youth sports. Now, there's a lot of incredible benefits, and I think the most obvious, and we'll get that out of the way by just mentioning it, the most obvious is that you get to share your passion with kids of that sport and help them to also develop a passion for that sport. And there's something to say for that. And especially in the day and age, and I don't want to like abuse this sort of topic, and I know everyone mentions it, but especially in a day and age where kids are just buried into a device and they would much rather just be antisocial and immerse themselves in some type of like virtual game. I think there's something to be said for helping kids develop a passion for a sport, and what better way of doing that than you yourself coaching and getting the child excited about it. So you can be a great example to your children in your family by coaching their sports, and then also by default you're encouraging and helping other kids develop that type of passion for the sport as well. And another really great benefit for coaching is that what you're doing is you are sort of developing, and you're sort of like, it's super rewarding. I'll just say this, right? So I'll say it's really rewarding to be able to share something that you love, help a kid develop a passion for it, and then also become really good at it. That's a really rewarding process that you're going to see coaching youth sports that you're not going to be able to experience sort of in other areas of life. And so, kids, they're so moldable, right? And they're at a place, especially young kids, are at a place where they're teachable, and they get excited about things, and moments of victory is so exciting, and it's wonderful to celebrate with them in those moments. And it's really cool that if you can in fact coach a kid and teach them a skill, and all of a sudden there's that moment, it's like that aha moment where they get it and they're able to apply it into a game situation, doesn't matter what sport it is, and they have a good experience, and they have a good outcome. Like, I'll just use the example of baseball. Imagine teaching a kid how to swing and how to hit, the proper techniques, the proper mechanics of hitting, and then all of a sudden maybe that child was very green, never played before, and leading up to their game maybe never got a hit before, right? Ever. And all of a sudden, they're able to apply these techniques that you taught them, and they get a hit, and they're able to successfully get on base, and maybe they're able to actually score a run that results in their team winning. That's a really special moment that you get to be a part of, and you get to do that by coaching. And so it's incredibly rewarding to be able to do that for kids and give them that platform, give them that moment, give them that opportunity to have an incredible victory. That's a memory that is life-changing. And when you're there and you're experiencing it, what you're going to realize is it's not the sport actually that mattered. The sport was simply the vehicle that enabled you to mentor a kid to experience something amazing, and that could be life-changing for that kid. And the next thing, and it's sort of like has to do at that point, is confidence. Sports for kids really is a great opportunity to help develop confidence in children. And what you can do is you can use that sport, like I just said before, use it as a vehicle for success to help develop the confidence that the child will need, that later on that confidence will translate to success in the marketplace. It'll translate to success as a leader at their next job, and as they sort of scale up in life. Confidence is a big part of it, and you get to be a part of that child's life where you were responsible, or one of the people responsible, for helping them to develop the confidence that maybe down the road help them to earn an incredible level of success. And that's such a unique thing that comes from coaching. Another really great benefit of coaching, now this definitely comes as a small business owner in a local community. Like if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner in a local community, what better way to really get to know your community, develop relationships in the community, develop a reputation of being a leader in your community, than by coaching a team where there's lots of families now on that team. So by default of there being lots of families on the team that you're coaching, you're going to develop this incredible relationship with them that otherwise you wouldn't have that opportunity. And this non-salesy environment is a perfect place for you to really sort of immerse yourself into the community, become known in the community, and then develop the respect and the trust of people in your community. And that's going to result in a much more success now for your local business. And I highly recommend, if you are a small business owner and you are a dad, you should be coaching local sports. Now, let's give the example of the dad whose child plays a sport where the dad knows nothing about it. Well, all local youth organizations are always looking for volunteers, for people that can be the assistant to the coach. They need help, right? So you don't have to be the head coach to be involved, to benefit from networking with the families. You can be the assistant coach and lean on the head coach for direction on what you can be teaching and mentoring and helping the kids out. And I can say firsthand, I actually sit on the board of one of the local youth organizations, and every single year we're looking for lots of help, regardless of skill level, because we can assign them to head coaches that do have the experience and the skill level. But you know what we need in those situations? We need a helping hand. We do need another adult to help chaperone the environment. And that's where, even if you don't have necessarily experience in that particular sport, you definitely represent someone that local organization needs, so you can still find ways that you can get involved. And I honestly can't stress enough the importance of getting involved with local youth organizations as a head coach or an assistant coach, because now the networking opportunities are going to be great, because you're going to be able to develop a better relationship with those people. Remember, I've said this for years now: trust before transaction, not transaction before trust. It doesn't work that way, right? So you're going to have an opportunity to build trust with so many people, and they're going to end up becoming your customers. They're going to end up becoming your referrals. They're going to recommend you to everyone. And just because what you're doing is you're spending time with your child, but there's other benefits involved as well. Another really great benefit of coaching, it enables you to practice your leadership skills as an entrepreneur. as a small business owner, as someone who's aspiring to become maybe one of those two things, or someone who is a leader, everyone should be in a constant state of learning. Now, just because, let's say you own a business, or you acquire a business, or you get promoted, it doesn't mean that your learning stops. That's actually, and for me, I think a point of failure for a lot of people. So what coaching does, it helps with that continued learning. It gives you an environment where you get to practice your leadership skills, both with kids, as they get older, like middle schoolers or high schoolers, right? It allows you to work on those leadership skills because you're not just now becoming a mentor and a leader to the children, you're also going to be a representative of the league. You're a leader there. You're also now going to be a leader to parents, right? There's lots of different roles that you get to practice your leadership skills. Another really great benefit, and this is probably the best one, is you get to spend time with your kids. There's only 24 hours in a day, and as an entrepreneur myself who owns businesses, I have aspirations, right? That has to do with my business, and I want to grow it. But I've got a limited time in a 24-hour period to do that, but also to balance out my family, time with my wife and time with my kids. And that is in many conversations, the more important than all the other things, right? So you need to be able to balance that out. And by coaching their team, it's baking in that time to spend with your children that I promise you, they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. They're going to see you in that role. They are going to really look up to you and admire you in that role. When they get older, they're going to be so grateful that you did that and you spent that time, you set that time aside to make that sacrifice so that they can do something incredibly special. And again, that's something that only can happen by coaching. Now, can you spend time with your kids without coaching? Of course. But it's an incredible opportunity for you to be seen by your kids in a leadership role, leading a team and coaching a team. And I think it's so important for kids to be able to look at their parents as role models. And if, let's say, you don't have other things in your life where that is something that's already visible, well, maybe now this is a way that you could do that. You can get involved as a coach or an assistant coach, and you could become that role model that your kids are looking up to and be like, my dad or my mom is the coach. Now, let's say you're not a mom or your dad, but you're an aunt, you're an uncle, maybe you're a grandparent, then you can also get involved and coach your grandkids, coach your nieces and your nephews. The point here is there's an enormous amount of benefits to coaching in your local youth organization that we just outlined. But ultimately, it's up to you guys to make the decision, do I want to do it? Because guess what? It is a little bit of a sacrifice. And it does take time that you have to invest and set aside time to do this. And it's not just going to be your kids that you're coaching, right? It's going to be other families' kids as well. So it is a responsibility. But what I'm saying is embrace the responsibility, embrace the sacrifice, because the benefits far outweigh all of those things. And after a season, will you be a little bit tired? Will you be a little bit stressed in moments? Yes. But you will not regret it because the benefits are incredible, and it'll benefit you. It'll benefit you as a role model to your kids, as a mom or a dad to your kids. It'll benefit you by building out incredible relationships in your community and networking in a way that you never really saw as an opportunity before. It allows you to practice your leadership skills in real life situations that I promise you're actually going to refer back to in your business, in your work life, in your professional life. And then, like I said before, probably the best benefit of it is that you're going to be able to spend quality time with your kids. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I always close my episode by saying, don't fear grit. Don't fear the process. And it's so true here. Don't fear the gritty, the process, the gritty aspect of coaching, because it is going to require some grit. But at the end of the day, you're going to be so grateful that you did it. Take care, guys.